Good morning and namaskar, everyone. Today I'm here again to share another joke with you all. Since I have been telling some jokes that I have collected from the different sources with you all, and my dear students, especially, have been encouraging me just writing some comments on it as well. So, as you demanded, I have again tried my best to share another joke with you all. Hope you will enjoy. It's all about the relationship between the teacher and students and then the activity that they conduct in the class. One day, a teacher asked an arithmetic question to a student called Raju in the class. Raju, if you had 5 rupees and you asked your mother for another 5 rupees, how much rupees would you have? And Raju replied, 5 rupees, sir. Listening to that answer, he got surprised and then again asked, you don't know this simple arithmetic too? And Raju replied, but sir, you don't know my very hard mother. So dear students, sometimes it happens when there is no proper understanding or when there is really, let's say, show off of overconfident, then it may happen like this, among all of us as well. And listening to that, Raju's answer, and the teacher had a kind of doubt whether Raju had understood that much only or he had just acted. To clear doubt, again he wanted to ask the question to him. Again he asked, now count 1 to 10. And Raju replied, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. And listening to that answer again, the teacher asked, where is 6? You didn't count it. And Raju replied, today in the morning news, I heard that 6 died in a road accident, sir. See, so it's another, let's say, kind of, reply Raju gave. So I think you enjoyed the, joke, my dear. So after the joke, let's talk about a little bit, let's say, some questions related to the subject matter. And today, I would like to, just ask you some of the questions here for the discussion. First, in this lesson, we are going to source the answer to this question. We need to have clear concept on this. So, would you mind thinking about what the question is? What do you mean by demography? Second, who is known as the father of demography? Third, when was it begun in the world? Fourth, define sociology. Fifth, what are the characteristics of human population that demography encompasses? And sixth, enlist the objectives of demography. So these 6 questions are today's discussion, my dear. At the end of the session, all of you will be able to answer these all questions. And this is equally important for the students who are appearing C examination too. Not only the students who have been just taking this class or uh, enjoying this class in class 10 as the new student. So what do you mean by demography? We're talking about demography and who is known as the father of demography. When was it begun? Practice of demography, and what is sociology? Since sociology and demography are interconnected, that means demography can be taken as one of the branch of the sociology. And what are the characteristics of human population that demography encompasses? Here we can guess that demography means something that encompasses human characteristics. Okay, I mean characteristics of human population. So, what may be the objectives of a demography? These are the questions to discuss today. So, let me begin. You can see the picture. John Ground, the founder of demography, who was born in 1620 and died in 1674. So, uh, he is known as the founder, or let's say demographer. You know, first demographer who presented his report by collecting the data, analyzing the data, calculating the data. You know, for 70 years. Okay, he is from English country, United Kingdom, UK. So let's talk about this word demography. Okay, the concept of demography. We need to know this demography is composed of two words, demo and graphy. So these two words are from, let's say, Greek words. If we talk about the origin of these, in Greek word, demos means people, the people, population, and graphy means writing about or recording something or to analyze, to write, to study. So, in general, what we say combinedly is demography is the statistical or scientific study of a human population, okay, with respect to their size, structure, and the development. Or, in other words, what we can say is that it is the study of human population that can be done scientifically, mathematically, statistically, calculation is done, writing is done, recording is done, right? Of the human population on the basis of different characteristics of the population, like you know their size, how development occurs, you know, and then let's talk about on the basis of the composition, how the society is composed of, population of a particular country is composed of. This is exactly known as the demography. So here you need to understand, underline thing, their size, okay, and their structure, right, and their development, right. So like many branches of the social sciences, okay, demography began in the 19th century. The question that we had to discuss before, can be replied by this 19th century. Many branches of the sciences evolved or invented, began, right? In the same way, demography also began in 19th century as the branch of what? Social science. So it is the branch of society, I mean sociology, that studies the characteristics of the human population. So demography is taken as the branch of sociology, and sociology means what you need to understand here. Okay, sociology is the study, the science that studies about the human culture, development, okay, or different kinds of communities and their behavior, that studies the characteristics of the human population, right? So here, it is the study of the classification of human society. In short, we can say what sociology means. Since the demography exactly, began as the branch of science, and is the branch of sociology that studies the characteristics of human population. It is exactly the study that studies the classification of the human society. So as soon as we talk about human society, this sociology studies about the human culture or human communities, and then how the societies of varieties are composed of. Thus, sociology attempts to explain how a society works as a whole. So you can see 19th century, and characteristics of the human populations. You know, so in order to understand demography when it was begun, right? That is very much important to notice. And the characteristics of the human population, that is studied under this, let's say, branch of sociology, demography. Okay. So the composition of a particular human population is to be studied. For that, we need to study on the basis of the characteristic like age, sex, language, occupation, okay, religion. I mean, educational level, family status, income, caste, mobility, or migration. Okay? These are the major characteristics of the human population, based on which let's say uh, demography is let's say demography studies this, okay, and demography encompasses all these, let's say, elements or characteristics of the human population. It also helps to study the human population, their situation, community, based on the age, varieties of age group people they live, like children, young, okay, or old, etc. And based on sex, male, female, or we say gender based, we can say, or others to nowadays, and language of different types, right? Rai, Limbu, okay, Magar, Newari, etc. And on the basis of the religion too, like what we say, Hinduism, Buddhism, etc. And based on the occupation, like whether employed or unemployed. If employed, then what kind of occupation, like teaching, teacher, a doctor, engineer, pilot, etc. And then level of education. All of we do not have, let's say, the same level of education. Some of we are educated, some of we aren't. Okay, although we are educated up to what level we have understood, we have accomplished or completed our academic career and all, that also is included under it. And family status refers to the situation, the status of the family, that is determined by especially the let's say income, okay, or employment, a source of income. Some of we have a high source of income, some of we have no income at all, some of we have very less, and we have experienced different types of, let's say, status in the society, like high class, medium, or very poor, okay, etc. And income is another important. Income and, let's say, employment, they are interrelated, or occupation. Based on occupation, your income is determined, right? Some of we have high income, some of we have less. That is also considered one of the characteristics of the what demography, or human population under demography. And we are of different caste. Okay, so population is composed of varieties of the people, from the varieties of background, like from varieties of caste, like Rai, Limbu, etc. And how the language also is different. And mobility in terms of, let's say, transport, okay, yes, from one place to another, okay, in order to walk, that is mobility. Migration is the same movement from one place to another place, right? So what are the objectives and aim or purpose of demography? Why? It is used to understand a targeted audience or population there of a particular place. Like if we wanna know about the people and and the society of Bhaktapur, Kathmandu, or Birganj, or let's say Nepalganj, or Nepal, India, etc. It is used to understand. This means demography is used to understand the targeted audience or population of a particular place. So the first aim of this demography, or objective of the demography, is to achieve knowledge about the, especially the characteristics of population, like size, how it is composed, composition, in the different organizations, and distribution of the population. Since even in the context of our country too, the population is not equally distributed in all the regions. Okay, if we talk about let's say mountain, hilly, terrain, all right, and nowadays no development regions, there are province, okay, in each province the population is different, size is different. In the same way, it is another objective of demography is to study the trend of population growth, how population increases in some places. We know in the world, China is first, having the highest population in the world, right? How it is increasing, what is the trend of population growth there, or in Nepal, in India, okay, so to study this trend of population growth, which describes the past evolution, present distribution, and the future changes in the population of an area. Three things exactly study the trend of three things about population, like growth, okay, or let's say past evolution, or how it was, at present distribution, how the population is distributed at present, okay, and what kind of changes may occur in the future of in a particular place or area. To study about this trend also another objective. Similarly, I would like to give one example for that. In television advertising, everybody watches television right nowadays of varieties. Marketers use demographics, you see here, to perform to inform them of who is watching which television program. Nowadays, varieties of television programs, uncountable television programs are there, okay, right, being run, being let's say conducted, or being made available for the, let's say, audiences of varieties. Okay, so which television program is being watched more or followed by the audience in the largest number can be, let's say, studied, through this through the use of this demography. So a demographer, uses this kind of, let's say, method for observing this, right? So what is the importance of demography in the sociology now, dear? Okay, so it has its own significance in order to, let's say, study about the human culture, human societies, and all, right? For that, demography is very much important. So what it does then, especially demography encompasses, means wholes, okay, the study of the size, structure, and distribution of population, and how population change over time due to especially the elements like birth, death, migration, aging, etc. Okay, this is very much important to understand the importance of demography in the society sociology. Now, major determinants of demography and population change. Okay, this birth, death, migration, okay, which play a vital role to bring change in the size of population, right? And in order to study this structure, size, distribution of population regarding which are determined by especially these events like birth, death, and migration. Birth and death is the natural events, and migration is the artificial. Right? Okay, and aging also is, let's say, natural, which is affected by the artificial living style as well. Okay, so uh, to understand this, we need to know what are the major determinants of a demography, and then, let's say, how it brings change in the size of population, right? So we need to study as the elements, processes, and measures here. Okay, the major elements of this demography are birth, death, and migration, right? So, uh, so this birth, death, and migration, among these, birth and death are natural phenomenon. They bring change in the size of population. Okay, and migration is artificial phenomenon that brings change in the size of population. All these three bring change in the size of population. You see, they determine the size of population. Birth increases the population and brings change in the size. Death decreases and, let's say, brings change in the size. But migration is responsible for both increase and decrease, and to bring change in the size of population. Population itself is dynamic in nature. It keeps on changing, right? Today, in certain number, tomorrow may not be. Either increases or decreases. These are the causative agent in a way. These are the causes, okay, which play vital role to bring in the size of population, right? So here we will learn about the processes of this element, okay, determining factor, both natural, but exactly, is fertility, death is mortality, migration itself is the process, migration, movement from one place to another place. And we can study mathematically, okay, by calculating, all right, by subtracting, adding, using scientific, method, right? Geometric method, or any, let's say, statistical method. We measure these processes, okay, how the processes are in the world of a particular place, in a way, let's say, of a particular place also. Fertility rate, mortality rate, and migration rate. In this way, we'll calculate, let's say, the status of the population, size, structure of the population, distribution of the population, okay, that especially changes over time due to these all three, especially birth, death, and migration. We'll learn about this in detail in the next session. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me. And thank you for showing your patience till now. And we will again enjoy. So this is the assignment to all of you, right? Whether now you are able to uh, just get the answer to this question or not. Now, who is known as the father of demography? When was it begun? Define sociology. What are the characteristics of the human population that demography encompasses? Enlist the objectives of demography. I think you got the answer to these all questions. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.